We are here at the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, meeting with Mr. Lous Pierelli, an expert sculpture and objects conservator.
We'll take an exclusive look behind the doors of the Gabinetto Fotografico, where numerous major works of art have been brought in to be restored. Lous Pierelli studied in both the United States and in Italy. He first graduated with a degree in natural science from Johns Hopkins University in Maryland. He then moved on to a master's degree in the history of art, and after, studied at the Opificio delle Pietre Dure in Florence and at the Istituto Centrale del Restauro in Rome. Lous proceeded to build his restoration business, Nike, with his partner Gabriele Tonini. 28 years later, he is still restoring magnificent works of art, as well as teaching in the classrooms of Lorenzo de Medici.
We kind of pioneered the field 35 years ago, and so we had the opportunity to work literally on all the major collections in Florence, at the Uffizi, at the Bargello, at the Museum of Modern Art. But I could say the most interesting was in the Palazzo Vecchio. We restored the Genius of Victory executed by Michelangelo Buonarroti. We decide what qualities are inherent to the piece, what should be removed, for how much should be removed, and for what reason it should be removed. This is naturally followed with different tests executed directly on the work of art. The treatment is basically a cleaning treatment, at least the works of art that are housed within doors. We remove surface accretions, we remove anything that was added that we consider not of aesthetic or art historical importance. The idea is to give the surface a more ordered type of quality and to make it more legible as a work of art, to regain the fluidity of the object as a work of art within an historical ambiance. The main methods for when a sculpture is exposed out of doors, it has to be cleaned of the soluble salts, the sulfates due to the atmospheric pollution. The material is usually very, very weak, and it has to be consolidated. That means it has to be given, it has to become hard again. And it has to be, we have to devise a system of a type of protective system to maintain the sculpture, for future years, as opposed to works of art that are housed indoors. It's a very delicate cleaning treatment, and so what we've done over the years, we've investigated different types of surface treatments and the chemical and physical makeup of these surface treatments that have been applied to the sculptures, either originally by the artist or through maintenance treatments throughout the past. The work has been both scientific in understanding the chemical and physical makeup of these objects and understanding the way they're applied to the sculptures, and to understand both visually through the aid of, and with the aid of historic documents, of technical treatises, the way they were actually applied.
The Ara Pacis Augustae is one of the few pieces in Florence dating from the 1st century AD. In the 16th century, the altar was owned by the Medici, but came from Rome in the 18th century for restoration by a famous sculpture restorer of the time, Caradure. Missing pieces were integrated to give the work a sense of completion. Now, Lous's cleaning treatment works to maintain a balance between the newly added 18th century pieces and the original antique Roman parts that had been underground and naturally have a completely different patina and color to the surface.
Lous considers all of Florence his workspace.
Which brings us just around the corner from the Uffizi to the Loggia di Lanzi in Piazza della Signoria, where many of his incredible works were restored.
Among those works are the Medici lions. The Loggia di Lanzi is considered an exhibit of the Uffizi Gallery that is exposed to the outdoor climates. In that regard, Lous had a difficult time restoring nearly the entire structure. The upper register sculptures were restored with a cleaning treatment, uncovering traces of its original surface treatment in the process. The sculptures on the ground level, like the Medici lions, came ready to collapse from Rome. They required total reconstruction as well as cleaning. Pio Fedi's Rape of Polissena also suffered greatly from outdoor pollution before Lous and Gabriele restored the piece. On major projects like this, Lous describes working with a range of scientific professionals, architects, archaeologists, and art historians to gain insight on their methodologies for dealing with the ancient materials. He says a global conservation method was established to restore the Loggia di Lanzi.